In the far reaches of the east, the men of Gondor and Donroth fight against one another, either side joining with evil. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another glorious online battle. Today we have a really awesome custom settlement which you guys can see right now. This custom settlement is pretty standard, however it looks absolutely amazing, giving you plenty of opportunities to fall back, fight in the streets, lots of alleyways for the attackers to move down, try and get a better position on their opponents. And then we also have this awesome last stand right here, which will really provide a very exciting position to defend for the defenders. In today's battle, we have a very nice team setup. I am playing as Dorwino right here. Again, these guys are soldiers north of Mordor and below Dale, a very strong faction that has access to some pretty deadly units, a lot of really good archers who can put down a lot of pressure on incoming formations. And again, obviously, as always, the units look absolutely great. In Rise of Mordor, you cannot not fall in love with these units. And then I am teaming up with the forces of Donroth. So they are going to be, and these are also some of my special units as well. If I can see them, they're kind of hiding right now. They're kind of like mixed elven units. They look absolutely great. With Dorwino having a lot of their armor mixed with elven artisans and stuff. It's really cool. And you can see them bad boys right there. But yeah, I am teaming up with the Easterlings who are forming up all the way back here with a lot of their locate room. Again, great looking units as always. Some of my favorite faction models are definitely from the Easterlings for sure, especially some of their tribal units look absolutely amazing. And then finally, the other ally that I do have access to is over here, and this is Donroth again, aiding some pretty strong reinforcements to the defenses. This is like really one of the best factions in the entire game right here, for sure. I'll just have the camera a little bit so you guys can see them. Very strong unit right there. Going up against us, though, we have some pretty heavy competition. We do have the Woodland Realm. These guys are amazing in siege battles because they don't get access to a lot of cavalry yet. It's just not in the game, so to compensate for that, their archers, their infantry are really deadly, especially the Hall Guardians back here. These guys can output a pretty crazy amount of damage and they're extremely heavily armored. So yeah, super scary unit. You can already see 63 melee attack is nothing to be messed with. As we go further on down the line, you can see more of the Woodland Realm infantry. Some of them already covered in blood from a few of my horse archers and their archers as well. Over in the center, we do have the glorious kingdom of Gondor, a faction that is always exciting to see. Again, I can never get sick of looking at these warriors right here. I mean, from head to toe, the Gondorians have been in this mod the longest, but yeah, I can never get sick of looking at them. They just look absolutely awesome. So a lot of heavy infantry, a lot of decent, just standard all-round infantry and archers able to push in. And then finally, over on the left-hand side, we do have another Eastling faction. So kind of a mix of two Eastlings, one attacking, one defending, which is going to make for an interesting battle. Again, you can see some of their amazing-looking units here again. The Warlords of Rune, this is their top-tier shock infantry. Send this unit into a flank of any unit and they will demolish it. And then obviously also these guys as well. These are one of the tribal infantrymen from one of the tribes to the south. And yeah, again, I mean, literally, the flags on their back just make me look amazing. The weaponry as well. Like, even just being carving on the weaponry as well is awesome. Definitely a beautiful unit. I absolutely love them as well. So again, these guys are always a must bring. They also have a cavalry variant of that, but unfortunately we can't see that quite yet. So battle is going to get kicked off, and we're basically going to kick it off with a few kind of cavalry sally outs. We do have some of the Bane of the Steppe moving out, which is a really strong melee cavalry unit. They're basically here just to disrupt the Gondorian assault. We have some of the Ringlow Vale men-at-arms who are going to be getting hit by this cavalry, and it's basically just a disruption ploy, let these towers shoot up a little bit more and really just try and do as much damage to their front line and these kind of initial units as we can. So these guys moving in is going to be pretty deadly. However, our opponent is going to kind of engage with his Bane of the Steppe fairly quickly and kind of shut down a lot of what we have. As well as that, we made a big mistake when setting up. I put all my traps outside the wall and completely forgot about them. And then my ally, who was playing as Donroth, then put his cavalry on top of the traps, and I didn't realize he placed his cavalry there. So I ended up killing about a good like 700-800 gold's worth of units at the beginning. A real big mistake by me, not realizing and telling him. That was, yeah, really embarrassing and funny at the same time. So yeah, that wasn't a great start to the battle whatsoever, especially because of how expensive this Donroth cavalry can be and how effective it can be. Our opponents have done a great job of shutting us down on our little sally out. So cavalry moving in, Knights of the Silver Swan for Gondor moving in and just clearing out the Bane of the Steppe, who are going to have to try and pull back there. Luckily, they do come in range of some missile fire, so our archers are going to be able to fire a couple volleys over the settlement's walls. But for the most part, we basically decided just to kind of give up a large amount of this settlement and really try and fall back a little bit. Kind of force the enemy to come in and then try and hit them a bit more aggressively that way. You guys will see if that plan does work. We also completely abandoned this left-hand side. I'm not sure why we completely abandoned this. It would have been a good idea to maybe set up some good firing traps. But again, I guess if we weren't going to defend this part of the wall, there's no real reason to defend this part, because then obviously all of a sudden we get hit around. And our player who was really positioned over here kind of really just decided to fall back and defend this in a position and kind of cut the enemy off as they push forward. So right now, the Eastlings who are attacking can really push up this artillery piece, get soldiers up on that wall as quickly as possible, and then start to bring their army in, because there's no real pressure on them whatsoever besides that tower shooting off a shot or two here and there. Nothing too scary. We do, however, bring over some archers, and these archers are going to be set up to hit away at the enemy as they come off that siege tower. That was kind of our big plan, was to let the enemy take the walls and then just hammer their frontal units with missile fire. And then as they come off, then we'll punish them a bit a bit more as they come off the walls themselves. However, we'll have to see if that one does pan out. You can see I'm bringing over some of my heavy elite archers again. Love this unit so much. This looks so good. If only the lighting was a bit better. If only the lighting was always like this, it would be great. Unfortunately, though, Attila, for some reason, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell if this armor is silver as well. If you look at it from this way, it looks kind of gold. But you look at it from this side, you can tell it's silver. Oh god, I hate Attila's lighting so much. I really wish they could just get, like, someone could figure out a way just to make it so it looks always like this and never like this. It's just such, like, day and night, like, how much better this looks. Hopefully they'll figure it out, though, because it will make the game and the battles look so much better when they do figure it out. So hopefully they can. So yeah, right now, as you can see, a lot of our infantry are just moving into the city center. Our archers are coming up, hammering the enemy as they do come closer and closer. One of the great things as well, and one of the things I love about Dorwino, is a lot of their shipment, and Dale, I guess, to that extension. I love the fact that these guys have javelins, so it makes these swordsmen really, really deadly, because they can take down a good 20-30 men before the enemy even close the distance and charge you. So by using these shipmen defensively, you can really rack up some damage on incoming infantry, and then just basically turn a fight into your favor. As you can see, I'm bringing up the infantry right now, the shipmen moving into position. So I'm basically just here to try and get some good volleys off. And as you can see, this unit right now, oh, and they loot, oh, it's so bad. Attila again, stupid Attila, destroying the towers, killed about 30 men from this unit for no apparent reason. And I believe they now can't use that to escape down either. It's so stupid. But here we go, javelin going in, really gonna be, you know, racking up a decent amount of casualties on their line and just disrupting their charge as well. And then I'm gonna come in and counter charge on them as well. Actually, we didn't even kill any of them. Wow, that's a bit disappointing. It disrupted the charge though, which I think is the main purpose of that javelin volley. And then we counter charge. So that should hopefully turn the battle in our favor. And now we can start to see the Gondorians going toe to toe against the shipmen. My shipmen aren't obviously known for their combat on land. They're more of a naval unit. But until naval units are in the game, these guys will be fighting on land with just as much ferocity, I am sure. And then my ally throws his Daranroth men-at-arms as well. These guys are going to be a great addition to my battle line and really, really help out. However, as you can see, our opponents are able just to bring everything they want inside the settlement, which, yeah, I think that was our biggest mistake, was just giving up these walls, because allowing them to do that has not been great. We also have some of our Logarim Macemen being surrounded by the Ringlo Vale men of Gondor. So the men of the Fiefdom really putting pressure on this unit, and the ability, the fact that they've managed to get like all the way around like this is really, really going to help them out massively. And obviously we are going to see more infantry being pouring into the city. Hopefully though, I guess this was more of our plan as well. Our plan was to try and force the enemy like into this like corridor, and then I guess try and push down and try and like trap them from every side here, if that makes sense, from my poorly drawn arrows. But yeah, again, we didn't really manage to do that, and we kind of really focused on defending the entirety of the settlement as aggressively as we could. You can also see as well, I did come up and throw some javelins at these units and just pull back my infantry. But our opponents are now doing a really smart thing by bringing their elven archers onto the wall these guys will be able to put down a lot of fire. And again, this is such a great position because they can shoot over the heads of their own infantry and really get some casualties onto our infantry, which are set up. Our main plan, again, was to just kind of hit these guys as they hit us. But again, when you've got like 6-7 units of archers on this wall, it's going to be pretty scary. And as well as that, we completely left this side open, and the enemy are going to be throwing their cavalry through. This was a big mistake on our part for the defense. Yeah, and again, you can see our plan kind of working here. The arrow fire able to really put pressure on anything down this kill lane. But me and my opponent, me and my ally who were defending this, just did not defend these positions well enough. And as you can see, there's so many ways in as well. We really should have set up the defense like here and also here. I think if we would have done that, that would have been able to protect this side very effectively. The enemy are going to come in. I do try and form a shield wall, but I just don't brace in time. That charge goes flying through my shield wall, and you're going to see the numbers drop from my shipman unit. Absolutely disgusting. I should have definitely have braced in time to try to block off as much as possible. Also see some artillery coming in as well, which is really, really nice. That unit is going to run away, which is nice. It's fine. It allows me to form up another defensive position. And I think basically I was set up like this to try and protect my infantry unit here. The cavalry is going to come flying back in. And again, just such a devastating charge. Really poor play on my part. And that cavalry is now just going to ping-pong its way through, going after another unit here. Again, luckily, my Dorwino protectors are going to get hit in the center, but they're pretty spread out, so now they can close in on this unit and move in. I believe as well as that, we also have some cavalry back here, which will hopefully help out. And our main goal was just to really save the archers. That's what we were trying to focus on doing. The enemy are going to come around here, though, again, trying to charge in. I mean, I'm pretty dense, so I can't imagine, and I do form shield wall as well, so yeah, you can see, even in shield wall, that cavalry rips through me. I'm not sure how many casualties I'm going to take. I guess I did form it a little bit late. But yeah, even in shield wall, taking that frontal charge, I still lost like 20 men. I guess I was a little bit too delayed on it. But man, that is brutal. This cavalry just running amok, and we've kind of allowed this to happen by trying to give the enemy a false sense of security and bring them in. We really needed some of our cavalry just to kind of basically, I guess, play a bit more defensively here, which yeah, was a big mistake. Now the cavalry is coming in, though, and we have managed to pin down the enemy quite handedly. This cavalry has overcommitted, and I was about to say the mounted lancers were about to come in and hit these guys in the back, which is something we desperately do need. Again, sorry, let me get a good light. So this cavalry is now going to come in and really try and pin these guys down. Actually, no, they're busy engaging that. Either way, my Dorwino protectors are fully engaged, and they're going to be a very, very effective unit at killing anything they come up against. This is a very, very expensive shock infantry unit. And wielding these huge falcon swords. Able to go over shields and penetrate enemy armor very effectively indeed. There is though a lot of missile fire. All the elves, look at the range of them elven archers up on that wall. Able to meet this combat, which is really, really effective for them. To go from that wall all the way over here. And that's just one of the strengths of the elves in sieges. Especially, I love the elves in an attacking siege, because their range can just do so much work. They can outrange the defending missiles. Their infantry is expensive, but so solid. And if you get them up on the walls and push the enemy back, oh, they are just a killing machine. As you can see, they're able to add so much additional fire to this battle. The left-hand side as well is not looking great. However, we are killing a large amount of their infantry over here. Their elven swords, who are fully committed to this, are finding it hard to actually break through the shield wall of our defending Diomarov. And they're doing a very, very handy job of just holding these shield walls. You can see we've won a handful of these positions. Another artillery piece coming in, though. Don't know exactly where this is focused down on. Oh, yeah, trying to hit some of my pikemen, be my guess. I'm not really too fussed about that. And yeah, you're probably going to see us kind of curving our formation a little bit, really bring in a lot of the defending units and just kind of retreat back. Managed to deal with some of that cavalry, but all at this time, the enemy are now bringing in a lot more reserves to really dominate this section. We're kind of happy that we've killed the enemy cavalry, so, you know, that's not a bad thing whatsoever. And we have taken casualties. I've lost a few shipmen, but for the most part, it's not that bad because, you know, my unit is pretty cheap, and it's not too bad to lose something like that. We're also obviously trying to take down a large amount of these Hall Guardians of all of our missiles as soon as they do come in, and our opponents are starting to move a lot of their blades around into position. So unfortunately, you know, as we said, looking back on this battle, definitely should have tried to defend like this point and this point, and then we could have really have utilized the defending force like so. Or maybe we could have just like held back and defended like this section. maybe would have been quite good as well, as this map does provide a lot of interesting entrances. There's a really cool kind of position through here you can move through, and you can get cavalry through there to outflank your opponents. Definitely did not realize that was a thing whatsoever. I'm going to be throwing up some infantry though and engaging more of my shipmen in against the Loke Rim. The Loke Rim are obviously macemen, so they're much better at killing more heavily armored targets, so my shipmen are going to be doing a decent job against that. I'm going to come up, and I also have a unit of my shock infantry as well. I believe this is even my general. So the plan is to really try and get some missile fire down onto the enemy line with my javelins, and then bring in the shock infantry a little bit later. Also, I can really utilize the archer fire I have to soften up their incoming unit, kind of remove that HP shield that artillery units have. And I'll just give my line a little bit of an easier time of things. But as you can see, the enemy are bringing in a lot of infantry. Their archers are in as well, and Gondor are just kind of pushing in more of their archers again. Love the look of the Gondorian archers. As always, I mean, they just look so iconic. They really do. Even just like the hair at the back of them as well, like coming out their helmets. Such beautiful, beautiful equipment. Yeah, these guys are completely set up now to really cause havoc and mayhem on the battle line. That's for sure. I'm going to be getting some artillery shots in though, which I hope will be doing some decent damage. And now we have more of the Gondorian cavalry turning up. This is a little bit scary because these are Knights of the Silver Swan. They're very expensive and probably not points efficient, but still a very scary unit if someone does bring them. And this cavalry can really cause mayhem if they get a nice frontal charge on the opponents. Over here as well, my my Dorwino protectors getting completely enveloped. And look at that, just like that, the enemy cavalry coming around. And yeah, they actually use this hallway. I did not realize you could go through here. I thought this was completely blocked off. It's cool that you can, and I'm very unfortunate that I didn't realize you could. So this cavalry is going to make its way through this archway, and then right into all of our archers, which is not good. Luckily, they kind of mess up the charge. My general kind of counter-charged, and this has actually kind of worked out really well for us because we completely envelop this unit and take out a very expensive unit that the enemy do have. So that actually kind of worked out for us, honestly. But yeah, still brutal nonetheless. We're going to get some pikes in as well. Yeah, it's not something you ever really want to happen anyway. You can see as well, I've got a unit of my pikemen over here as well, just kind of defending this section. But we've been completely thrown back. Their initial assault has been very, very beneficial. They've also saved some artillery to make a breach. I really like the idea of doing this, just so you can bring your army in a lot quicker and you don't have to worry about getting them up on the siege tower. So they're going to be moving in. I am counter-artillery striking them though, trying to take down some of these warriors as they march through the city as well. Trying to kill as many of them as possible, and we're also hitting them with all the missile fire that isn't tied up in that cavalry fight. And you can see these units, yeah, getting over here and obviously just trying to look to clean up any of these positions. Obviously going to move around here, hit these guys in the back, move around there. The archers are going to be doing some decent damage to them though, you know, whilst they can. Another artillery shot coming in. This one looks like a money maker. Oh, almost killing a bunch of Gondorian swords. They're going to be able to keep on pushing around. So as you can see, we are in full-on retreat right now. The our ally on the hill hasn't really had any pressure thrown his way, and we're just having to really be forced back. We're going to be committing a lot of soldiers, and we are going to be getting some efficiency in this battle. You know, we do have a lot cheaper units, and we are going to be able to take down a lot of them as they throw themselves against our inner defenses. You know, you can see more of our Warlords of Ruin getting stuck in here, and this unit will do some serious work. Already taking down a handful of the enemy on the charge, and obviously supported by my shield wall as well. They can kind of strike from protection of my warriors. And again, I just can't get over how beautiful this unit does look. Even down to the sword and shield. More Gondorians though reinforcing. Really committing more. Have we killed that unit of cavalry now? Yeah, we have. Thank God for that. That's going to again open up. But again, the enemy, as soon as they breach this point, are going to be able to really open up our defenses. And that's going to end up pushing back all of our archers as fast as we can. And we're just going to have to kind of really go back. But we do still have, you know, inner defenses set up, ready for this. Obviously, this position right here is going to be great. We obviously also have this big hill here. And we obviously have a good crossfire as well. You know, we can set up archers right here. and then they can just fire down into the sides of the enemy. So even though we've kind of been absolutely smashed, this battle is definitely not over, and we definitely have a lot of counterplay. I also still have some horse archers out here as well. I brought a unit of the Dormino horse archers, but they suck. They really need to be buffed a little bit, whether it's with range or with damage, because they just do absolutely nothing, and they get slaughtered by incoming missile fire. With like elven archers with like 200 range, this unit just gets massacred. So they really should be either have like good armor piercing bows, I think, or they should have a much larger range, because their range is 200. What are elven archers' ranges? They're Gondor bowmen. So what's the Gondor bow range? If we can take a look at them. Gondor archers have 200 range. So they have the same range of Gondor archers, and then get completely obviously outclassed by the extra 25 range on the archers. So yeah, I don't think they need to have a range buff. 200 is actually really good, but the same as most people's archers. But maybe a damage bonus or like better armor piercing capabilities would be great. You know, a real good, just annoying unit. I'm not saying making them ridiculously OP, but just, you know, a nice buff so they can do damage would be great. Because right now they are kind of useless. More enemy cavalry coming in on our inner layer. Luckily, we have plenty of pikes and swords ready here. We've also got this really cheap unit of farmers who have thrown themselves in. Not a bad shock unit. And once again, we've managed to repel this unit of cavalry and make it pay. They do not have many men left. And you can see all of our archers just training their arrows and their volleys on the position where they think the Knights of the Silver Swan are going to be. Really able to take them down very efficiently. And as well as that, you can see more of our bowmen now also hitting in here. And the swordsmen doing a great job. This unit of swordsmen holding the line, allowing the warlords of Rune to really rack up the kills. You can see that unit in there. However, the enemy cavalry is going to kind of cycle around and just, again, do so much damage in on that unit. And unfortunately, at this point as well, all the archer fire as well. My archer fire is going over here, but one of my allies, unfortunately, his bowmen, I think, up here, were accidentally targeted still on that unit of cavalry. And they're going to be taking, yeah, unfortunately, some friendly fire there. And that's going to kill a few more of these warlords. So a really nice charge there by our opponents. Fire arrows coming in here as well, trying to destroy the artillery piece, and that's obviously one of my bad for not retreating back this artillery piece a little bit sooner. We also have some of my archers who have been caught as well. This is one of my cheap units of archers, so I'm not too fussed about having them committed to this fight. They're basically here just to act as a rear guard, so the rest of my battle line can fall back and set themselves up in a much better position. So these guys are a simple sacrifice. But obviously, it's only a matter of time until the other side. Yeah, they've already got plenty of infantry. They can move this infantry around here. They can bring it around here and, yeah, break this. Obviously, they're also going to be able to do something like this. So, yeah, we are really pushed back now at this point. It's not looking great, honestly. Numbers-wise, we are down. Only down, not even down that much. Only down like 1,600 men, which is not bad at this point. We're going to have to fall back and set up. But if we can hold these positions, we still have plenty of ammunition left. The enemy are running a little bit low on ammunition. They still have a lot of infantry back here as well. But, you know, if they throw themselves against us, we can definitely deal with them pretty effectively. I also had to bring this unit of pikes in as well because the enemy were pursuing us. So I just turned these guys around. And the Dormino pikemen are very strong. And they are also fighting in a very good position here as well. So, again, these pikemen are able to really get stuck in. And I always like it when pikemen can get kills. Because I think you bring this unit to one, soak up missiles. And you also bring this unit to zone. And basically tell your opponents, if you're planning on coming this way, you're going to have to go through my pikes. So I think it's a very valuable unit without even getting any kills, but the fact we managed to get some kills as well has been really good. So I'm going to be bringing up my last unit of my pikemen. We also have some axemen set up here. I love this unit of axemen from Darmroth as well. The axes are beautiful. And it's going to do some serious damage. We also have some more located rim. We have some archers. And again, my archers are very expensive and they're really good in melee combat as well. So right now, we're just kind of drawing the enemy in and just focusing it down. There is also a rogue unit of warlords out here with 150 kills. Just still going down to the last man. You've got to respect it as they make their last assault. Still, though, unfortunately, they are going to be taken down by the Gondorians. So the sheer weight of numbers really counting for a lot. And now the enemy are going to move in. We are obviously again set up in shield wall, which is going to give us a good bonus. We also still have a unit of warlords here as well. So you're right, at the beginning, like, as they're throwing themselves against us, this is a pretty good combat for us. We have pikemen, we have shock infantry, we have swordsmen, we have a lot of archers covering this position, and it's not like the enemy can really effectively break through this, because these are clan guards. These guys are some of the most annoying spear units to break. So in a siege battle, these guys set up in a defensive choke point, they're not going to break. They have amazing armor, they have loads of health, 80 armor on these guys, 42 melee defense, and a massive missile block chance. They're just not going to break one bit. So right now the enemy are kind of funneled through this position, and we're in a really good situation. Like, we have men in shield wall with a lot of archer fire. Like, all that archer fire going in on these Loco Rim. You know, I've got 4 units of archers set up here. We're going to be taking down their units coming into our flank very effectively. The axemen moving in, able to break some of their men. We've got pikemen going in as well. The pikemen in such a good position, and we've also got shock infantry going through. So, you know, the battle is actually looking not as catastrophic at this point as it could have been. However, the enemy missiles are definitely focusing down my shock infantry. I think that's my general I'm throwing in as well, as this is obviously our last stand. So I also throw in my general as best as I can. Again, just to try and do as much damage as possible. My general's on 92 kills. He'll be on a lot more before the battle is ended. So, yeah, the enemy are already throwing themselves against us, and we are repelling them somewhat. They still got plenty of ammunition left, and I think that's the thing that's really going to put, if we can't break them, put the nail in the coffin for this engagement, is just the sheer amount of archers they have left. It's a very scary amount. But I'm hoping that we can just, you know, cause enough issues here that, you know, the men that they are sending in are just still not going to be able to do much. Also getting some good artillery rounds in as well. Just trying to scare any of their soldiers off, maybe getting a cheeky round off on some of the shock infantry. All my archers are obviously solely focused on these axemen, because this is the unit we're really scared of. They already have 109 kills, still a decent amount of them left in the unit. So again, that's our main focus point. As you can see, like, the archers doing a pretty good job set up on this hill. Able just to fire in down onto the enemy position. If we so annoying, it saves me there. If we go to a nice cinematic mode as well, the FOV, and we zoom in, you guys can yeah, see it in all its glory. Fire arrows moving in as well. Come on, focus for me. Focus for me. It's gonna focus. Come on, focus. Oh, not really very well. You can kind of, it's focusing like down there, but not on the units like right in front of me. There we go. Come on, pull your bow back and get ready to fire in. Oh, well, we'll just, I won't bother with that. It looks really cool when you get the right angles, but it's kind of hard to mimic. Sometimes it really goes further forward with the cinematic, and then sometimes it comes a bit further back. But either way, it looks great nonetheless. And as you can see, our opponents have really thrown in everything they have now at this point. It's trying to really break our formation. My pikes have got a really good setup here, supported by some more of my archers. But they're obviously the main focus point for a lot of our missiles. Archers focusing down our artillery pieces. I'm just basically firing off the last couple of volleys that I do have. I'm almost out of ammunition. Once again, we're able to break back our opponents and, yeah, really send them packing, which is nice. The archer fire is all focused in onto their warriors back there with the axes. We're getting some really good crossfire, reducing. My general is now up to 145 kills. So already secured himself a very nice KDA. And our opponents are just not focusing down this section whatsoever. They're really just ignoring it. Which, again, I feel like we really should have been a bit better at defending, like, these choke points. Because if we would have defended, like, all down here, or just, as I said, here, and, like, force the enemy to have to come around us and then hit us in the side there, that could have been such a valuable strategy. It really could have. We are bringing around more archers, though, to try their best to reinforce this section, just to aid any extra support that they have to this fight as we make our last stand. And as you can see, Loco Rim versus Loco Rim. Warlords of Rune versus Hall Guardians. Two very good shock infantry units. And the enemy archers are closing in as well. Just trying to pick off our artillery and anything else. And really at this point, the battle is just not looking good for us. However, you know, they are now having to commit their final reserves. Oh, as well as that as well. I basically shot all my horse archers into a shield wall of Citadel Guard. Obviously, it's not going to do anything. I think I shot like literally 3/4 of my ammunition into them and they just didn't even take a casualty. They're insane. Obviously, they are in shield wall. Really smart move there just to kind of block them off. Even though these horse archers are literally useless. You know, they're just not good in this game. And you guys know me. I love horse archers. Horse archers are such a fun unit just to really annoy your opponent. It requires a lot of micro, but it's great. And there you go. The last kind of set of reserves moving in. So yeah, again, if we can hold this line, obviously I'm throwing in my archers now, but these archers don't suck. They still have very good melee attack. If we can basically just utilize our ammunition and rout a large portion of this, the enemy don't have anything left really. And they obviously also still have to go through this position as well. They are now trying their best to break this with some of their archers without ammunition. And again, these are still Laws of Lazagan, which are, you know, great elven archers. They're just not going to break these Clans Guard. Clans Guard aren't really going to kill them because they're Clans Guard. But this is just going to be like a slap fight. Both sides just chinging off each other's armor. Neither side really doing anything. And that's why more reinforcements. Gondorian swords are now going to be rushing up the hill to aid in any way they can in this fight. Because I guess all they need to do is reduce the Clans Guard enough so they can find a gap in that battle line. That is going to be a stone wall if I have ever seen one. The enemy are still pushing up though, and again they're taking a lot of casualties from these archers who are set up in such a perfect position to really help out. But our numbers are dwindling. I think at this point my general has broken. And we are, you know, even though we are throwing everything we have at this fight, we are definitely going to be hard pressed. Hard pressed to keep this breach point under lock and key, especially with the elven archers turning up. These are basically fresh elven archers. You know, we're going to be able to deal with this section kind of nicely. And as you can see, the enemy are getting debuffed very effectively. You know, another unit's now just broken. The elves are turning up. But, you know, we've basically broken most of the Easterling infantry here. And unfortunately, this unit of archers actually ended up breaking as the elves came through. Really unfortunate. They're going to have to smash into us very effectively. And just continue on this pressure. Archers are going to continue to set up though. But yeah, again, these swordsmen are going to go flying into the rear of our halberds and all our shock infantry. We still have a unit of cavalry back here. Able to cause some issues. A nice little rear charge there from the Knights of Imrahil. Get some decent kills and then turn back around. But again, quite quickly, the Elfkin Riders moving in. And this is also a unit of Citadel Guard reinforcing. So a pretty dire state, honestly, at this point in the battle. The enemy have completely broken this up. And now, really, it is only, you know, it's only going to be a couple minutes left until we can hold. We have basically all our archers up on this pillar. And yeah, they are getting completely enveloped. The enemy are going to be rushing up here very aggressively with what they have left of their infantry. But yeah, I mean, even though I think we made so many mistakes in this battle, you know, with the enemy cavalry getting into this square right here, if we could have stopped that from happening, I think we definitely would have bled the enemy dry as they came up this hill, because we've taken down so many of their soldiers. They've only got 2,900 men left. You know, there's only like a 1,300 man advantage. And if we didn't lose all our infantry as efficiently out here, and we didn't get cavalry charged by the enemy horses, I think we definitely could have claimed this one. It was just a bit poor coordination. This was the final game of the evening, so I think both of us were, or all three of us on this side, were a little bit tired of playing after we had some big engagements. So yeah, not too bad, but definitely we could have defended a little bit better. We can now though take a look at the last 3 minutes of our last stand. The dismounted general fighting to the last, surrounded, supported by his warlords of Rune. Even, I think it's a friendly missile fire coming in at this point as well. Just not good. Not a good setup whatsoever. But he will fight to the last man. How many kills is he on as well? Only 46. I guess he has been committed and he is completely surrounded. So That does make sense. More infantry able, though, to move up here and, yeah, really just start pinning down your cavalry up here as well. The Elkin Riders are going to be obviously looking to take down as many of these archers as possible. Probably just looking to get into our formation. Because one of the big things about charging archers with like a lone cavalry unit is they get slaughtered by the other friendly archer units. You can just focus them down. So it's very hard to get into enemy missile lines unsupported. So the main focus of this cavalry is to just try and dive into here and just try and tie up as many of them as possible. Because as you can see, the archers will start to rack up kills on these Elkin Riders, volley after volley. And they also are obviously getting missile volley, so they reduce speed, melee attack, and also their rate of fire as well. Heavily does get reduced. Actually, I think this unit of Elkin Riders is just going to go straight for these clansmen and try and really breach up this point, which, again, is not a bad idea. Yeah, I think at this point in the battle, they know victory is at hand. Yeah, going right for this unit of clan warriors is a smart move. The clan warriors are going to turn. But yeah, look at that. The cavalry just rips right through them onto friendly units, and that is basically going to be our nail in our coffin. The rest of the infantry now ready to push up here. The rest of the archers moving in. The general is still holding firm. The Warlords of Rune up to 114 kills. And also the Dismounted Knights of Imrahil as well. Up to a decent amount, but yeah, that's going to be GG indeed. Also, if you guys didn't know, this battle was played with Pope John Paul. He is also a YouTuber. I'll leave a link to his channel down below in the description. He was kind enough to invite me to play some of these battles, so definitely recommend checking out his channel. He does a lot of similar content battle-wise to me, so definitely worth your time to find his channel and yeah, watch some of his awesome videos, so definitely go do that. So that is going to be the battle. Let's go check out some of the kills. Again, I definitely let the side down in this battle, even though some of my archers did do a really good job and my shock infantry did okay, my general did okay. Definitely a lot of my units really did not do too great. Again, the Warlords of Rune over here doing nice. Yeah, unfortunately our Bane of the Steppe just couldn't get stuck in. Same with my archers, and a few of my other infantrymen just really got took apart. Nice kills there, though, on the Haven Guard. Hey, you guys impressed? I said it right this time, not Haven Guard. Yeah, 235 kills on them, which really was probably the highest kills on our side. Over on Gondor, no one really doing spectacular, but just like 100 kills on a lot of his infantry, which is absolutely solid. Over here, again, Warlords of Rune, amazing. And also, as well, the Vargai Warriors as well. Nice amount of kills on them. And then finally, the Elves, 198 kills onto these guys and 300 on these Hall Guardians. Impressive stuff. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.